feel free to fire away with questions for Coach White.
Mike, two big road games this week, Auburn, Texas A&M. Just what are you looking for from this group, given the challenge that's waiting them?
Really just focused on Auburn, of course. Huge challenge. I mean, it's a top 25 program. It's a team that they just had a big home loss, right? They got negative momentum at home, right? They've only won 25-26
Yeah.
at home. They're really, really good, and it was our best win of the year, our best performance of the year, and it wasn't their best performance. We've got to play better. We've got to be even more sharp defensively. Probably got to make some hard ones. You know, they defend the three as well as anyone in the country, and it'll be a really tough environment. So it's gonna be our best performance. It's gonna have to be, obviously, to have a chance.
You mentioned the previous game, obviously, with the ups and downs that y'all have been through. How much confidence does that give you and this team in their ability?
Well, I think it makes for continued motivation, you know, for guys to want to come to practice, right? And knowing that their hard work is paying some dividends, and they're getting some positive reinforcement. And you know, wins are always obviously better than losses. We're going to learn from either, though, and we've improved markedly throughout the season, and we've got to continue to improve if we're going to be competitive down the stretch, especially on the road.
Let's talk about the win streak Auburn had at home.
Yep.
What logistically does play in there force you guys to do, adjustments you have to make, just knowing the kind of environment that's going to be?
You know, it's a really tough environment, but there's a few in our league that I would put in that argument with those guys. You know, at the end of the day, it's because Auburn's been really good, right? They defend and they're efficient offensively, and they run really good stuff, and they've created an environment, you know, in that community where people want to come and be loud for them. You know, it's a very tough place to play, and the SEC's got a few of those.
Cario and Terry obviously had a huge game last time. Is that the recipe to beating Auburn? Is that you got to have great guard play, or is there something that comes to mind?
I'd like to get great guard play and front court play and bench play and everything. We've got to be better. Again, we've got to be better. Wendell Green's one of the best point guards in the country, and he struggled. I don't anticipate that happening to that level. Jalen Williams missed some open ones. You know, it was one of those nights. They're really good, though. They're really good, and they're a team that's had some big wins throughout the year. And I want to say before these last couple, they had won maybe 7 out of 8. And obviously, they're as good at home as just about anybody in the country. Got to get good guard play. Got to find a way to manufacture a few from behind the arc. We've got to get in the offensive glass. They're terrific on the offensive glass. Again, they're great at defending the three. They're always really good in transition, of course. So our floor balance has got to be key for us. There's a bunch, though. I mean, defending Broom on the interior, the way those bigs pass to one another is high level. Alan Flanagan is playing at a different level than he was playing earlier in the season. I'm assuming he was dealing with some injuries. Is playing, you know, he's in a really good rhythm, and so we'll see a different lineup. We'll see a different level of play from him. They're good.
Mentioning Wendell, what are his strengths? What sort of stands out to you about the way he
To me,
plays?
his confidence. He knows he's good, you know, and he might even tell you about it. You know, he plays with as much swagger as just about anyone on our schedule. Respect the way he approaches the game. Doesn't take plays off. He can really score it, and I think that's probably what's covered as much as anything publicly. But man, he can get up there and pressure the basketball. He's got some leadership qualities. I don't know him, but man, I'm a fan. You know, as a former point guards are guys that I probably evaluate and look closer at as much as any position. And he's a really good player. He's done some big things there, and he'll continue to do those.
We talked a little bit about Juice after that South Carolina game. How much development have you seen from him since he first got here to where he is now?
He's made a big jump. The game has slowed for him a little bit offensively. He's just kind of settled into being more efficient, playing off of others a little bit more. and embracing the role of being our best defender. You'd want 10 guys to want to embrace that role, right? But he has, and he's got some physical abilities and some mental abilities that allow him to have separated from the rest of his teammates. He's his mental toughness, his competitiveness, and then physically, you know, he's got some speed and quickness and length and some physical toughness. He's turned into a really good defender. He'll continue, in my opinion, with challenging, right, and with embracing, becoming a better rebounding wing, both offensively and defensively, because that's in his ceiling, in my opinion, or in his upside rather. And he's continuing to develop offensively. He's such a worker. He goes so hard. He'll only continue to get better.
If I'm not mistaken, this is the first repeat opponent. How different is it? And maybe it's a huge advantage.
Yeah.
How different is it watching film, preparing for a team when you see yourselves out there?
It's very, very different. I think it probably simplifies it, assuming there aren't wholesale changes with either team, to a certain extent for both staffs, right? These are some of the things that we did well that worked, and these are some things that we could have done better, whether we won the game or lost the game, and Auburn's probably doing the same thing, right? Auburn's tweaked what they're doing a little bit in certain ways, and we have too, but for the most part, we have a pretty good feel for each other.
Andres didn't get the start, came off the bench, shot 5-7
Yeah.
from 3, I think had a season high of 17.
Mhm.
Where have you seen him develop in his game?
Wow. He comes off the bench, right? I mean, maybe he should have come off the bench a little bit earlier. Maybe I should have done that for him. That's my mistake. Played his best game as a Bulldog. He was fantastic. He was really good defensively. Got some two-handed tough rebounds in traffic, and goes 5 of 7. Incredibly efficient. Played a good floor game. Played with some toughness and some confidence. Like to see that a lot more from him, right? And you're coming off a win. Who knows what you do with the lineup? Because at the end of the day, it's about winning, right? So it's about the team result. But he's in a good place right now, and hopefully he's got a few more of those in him. Proud of him.
Any other questions for George? All right.
Thanks, guys.
What stands out to you about this Auburn team you guys are getting ready to play?
I feel like their toughness stands out. They have a lot of talent also.
Considering the ups and downs that y'all have had in SEC play, how much confidence do y'all get from the fact that you did beat Auburn the first time, that y'all are capable of, going and playing with a really talented team like that?
Definitely confident. We feel like we could beat almost anybody in the SEC. And the thing is, I feel like not being overconfident, thinking like we already beat them, we can beat them again.
We're expecting Auburn to be loud. I mean, that arena. Are there lessons that you can take from, Kentucky, Tennessee, road games y'all have already played this year that can help tomorrow night?
Really, just getting used to the crowd. I feel like that's something that's exterior that we really don't need to be worried about. So just really being used to it, over time experience.
Does anything come to mind from when you were at Alabama playing at Auburn last year?
Just how loud it was, you could barely hear yourself talking on defense. It was loud, crazy.
Looking at this year, your first year here, how much do you feel like you've grown? What ways do you feel like you've been able to improve to this point?
I feel like I've definitely grown, on my offensive side, just being more comfortable on the floor. That comes as you get more minutes and stuff, so obviously. But, yeah, definitely, more comfortable talking, offensively with the ball.
Coach White talked about you as a defender and being a really willing, strong defender. What kind of mindset do you have to do that, to be out there and play like you're the team's best defender?
Really just be willing to do the dirty work, really willing to do the things that most people don't want to do. It's really just a mindset, I just feel like that's what we need, so that's what I have to do.
Coach talked about this a little bit. How different is it preparing for an opponent and watching yourselves play that opponent as opposed to watching other teams play them?
I wouldn't say it's too much of a difference, but it definitely, you can see okay, we did this against them, and if it works, continue doing it.
Any questions for Juice? He's ready to answer all your questions.
Frank, what stands out to you about the Auburn team you guys are getting ready to play tomorrow night?
I mean, we played them before. They're very physical, one of the best defensive teams in the country. They're right up there in steal rate, block rate, offensive rebound rate, defensive efficiency. They're just a really solid team. They play hard. But like first game, we just got match the intensity and hopefully we get a good result.
How
It's on the
did-
road, so.
How different is the challenge this time, the fact that it's going to be in their arena, knowing that the crowd is going to play a factor?
It's going to be a big challenge. I mean, they had one of the longest home winning streaks in the country at some point. So they just lost. So I think they probably playing those first after they lost. So, they want to get another streak going back. It's going to be tough, but everybody's paid to win this league, so we'll see.
You mentioned that previous game. How much confidence does that give y'all, with the ups and downs that y'all been through in SEC play, how much confidence does that give y'all as a team that y'all are capable of playing with and beating really good teams?
I mean, we know because we see it in practice every day. We know what we have. The guys are confident. That's all you got to have. You got a confidence going into any game. You know that, hey, it doesn't matter what the result is. If you lose, just know if you play hard, you got a very good chance to win. And the last game, first overtime game of the season, we put it off. I think that was a real character building for our team. Going into Auburn, I mean, let's see.
When you look at that South Carolina win you guys had, what did you learn about the team? The fact you guys were able to not only win that game, I mean, I think y'all were down like 10 with like 5.5 minutes to go. I mean, the fact you guys were able to get back in that game and win it like you did.
I mean, it just shows that we have fight. You shows we have fight. Like a lot of guys stepped up. I mean, Drez in particular, the last couple of games, Drez, didn't play really good. Doesn't play a lot of minutes, but he came in the Auburn game and came in the South Carolina game and had played almost 40 minutes and hit some big shots, which was very, very helpful. Juice, same thing with his defensive intensity. Terry, same thing. Rio, MA. I think everyone just played a big role. And like I said, it doesn't matter. This is the SEC. Anybody can beat you at any time. Going into the game and think, South Carolina, like maybe they have a losing record, but if you relax, they come in here, they were up double digits with like 7 minutes to go, but just got to run around and put it off.
You mentioned Juice. What does he bring to this team and his strengths?
His intensity. Every play. That's why the coaches love him, players love him, we all love him. Every single play, he just goes hard, like balls for the wall hard. He plays really, really hard. I think he ended that game with 5 steals, and I ain't never 5 steals. 5 steals is nuts, but just he helps us.
How big is this week you guys got at Auburn and then Saturday at Texas A&M? Just the fact that it's 2 big road tests against really, really good competition.
I asked myself the same question when I had the schedule. I would just schedule a really good Auburn team at home and Texas A&M team, 2 teams that did not lose at home a lot in the SEC. But it's a challenge, and that's what we play for. We want to put yourself in these positions to go out there, probably steal one on the road. That's going to help this team keep getting better. So looking forward to it.
Any other questions?